In this video, we're going to be looking at simplifying algebraic expressions by combining all the skills that we have used so far in this chapter. We did a little bit of this in our last assignment in 5.5, so let's go ahead and get started. Our essential question will be, how do I simplify algebraic expressions? So first I want to look at our steps. I'm going to add two more steps to this so it's very clear what we want to do. The first thing, step one, I want to do is write in any hidden ones. So that's our first step. Then we'll do our second step right below it. This will be our keep, change, change. And we'll make this our third step. Step number 3 will be distribute. And then our final step will be to combine like terms. So we'll write any hidden ones where we need them. That's usually the case where we have a parentheses with no number in front of it, or a variable with no number in front of it. That's when we'll write in that hidden one to help us keep track of stuff. Then we'll keep, change, change, turning subtraction into addition, and the item or the term coming after the subtraction into its opposite. Then we'll distribute. That's when we do our rainbows to multiply, and then we'll combine our like terms by combining variables that are same, adding their or combining their coefficients, and then we'll combine constants. That's our numbers without any variables. So let's go ahead and look at this. We'll just do a couple examples. I think all you really need to be able to survive this as far as reference is number 1 and number 4. And then I'll have you do a few on your own. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 and number 4 I think is all we'll really need. We'll do an easy one and then a more difficult one, and that'll be it. Okay, so my first step, write in any hidden ones. So what that means is if there's a parentheses with no number in front of it or a variable with no number in front of it, we'll go ahead and write that 1 in. There we go. Now, is there any subtraction that we have that we need to use keep, change, change on? Well, there is. So I'm going to have my 5x plus, bring down that 1. Then I'm going to open my parentheses. And right here, since there's subtraction right here, this is where my keep, change, change is going to come in. So we end up with 3x plus negative 8. And there we go. Okay, so we wrote in our hidden ones. Step 1 accomplished. Step 2, we did our keep, change, change. Now step 3 is our distribute. So I'm going to distribute this 1 out front. So it's 1 times 3x. So let me go ahead and write what I haven't used. 5x, bring my plus sign down. Now we'll distribute. 1 times 3x is 3. Bring this plus sign down. And then 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. There we go. Okay, so now I need to combine my like terms. Well, first we need to identify like terms. Anything with an x is a like. So I have this 5x, and I have this 3x. Those are alike. And then I have a constant that's all by itself, so I have the negative 8. And that's the only constant. So let's combine our like terms. 5x and 3x, same signs, add, and and keep that x. So 5 plus 3 is 8, and we get 8x. Then we'll have to bring down our plus sign. Plus sign gets brought down. And is there anything to combine the negative 8 with? There is not, so we can bring that down. And we have 8x plus a negative 8. Or, since it's plus and minus, we can think of it as 8x minus 8. Either one of these is correct. So we wrote in our hidden ones. Then we did our keep, change, change, keep, change, change. Then we distribute. Distribute the 1 to the 3x, 1 to negative 8. Then we combined our like terms, first by identifying 5x and 3x combined to 8x. Nothing like negative 8, no other constants, brought it down. And then we looked at both possible types of solutions. Okay, so let's look at a more complicated one, number 4. Following these 4 steps. So step 1, is there anywhere where I need to write in some hidden ones? Right after this minus sign and before the parentheses, there's no number here. So let's write in that hidden one, that'll help us. Okay, so we wrote in all the hidden ones. Is there, do we have some subtraction where we can keep, change, change? Where's a plus sign? Minus sign, so we need to change, change right here. And we'll have, oh, another one right there, so change, change. Change that minus and change that 12. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I will have all this first stuff staying the same, 7 parentheses y plus 5. Now I'm going to do my keep, change, change. So I'll have a plus negative 1. There's my change, change, plus negative 1. Open my parentheses. And then we'll have 10y. And then we go change, change. So plus negative 12. So we wrote in that hidden one on our first step right here. And then we did our keep, change, change, changing subtraction, changing that 1 to a negative, and then we did change, change right here, changing that subtraction to addition, and making that 12 a negative 12. Now we're on to step 3, distribute. So there's 2 spots to distribute. I have this 7 to the y, so that'll be 7 times y is 7y. Bring down my plus sign, and then I have 7 times 5. Remember, every time we're distributing, it's multiplication, so it's 35. Now I'll bring down this plus sign. There's my plus sign. Now it's time to distribute the negative 1. So negative 1 times a positive 10 will be a negative 10y. Bring down my plus sign. And now I have negative 1 times negative 12 is positive 12. Okay, so let's identify. So that's step 3 done. Now it's time for step 4, combining like terms. So first we'll identify our like terms. Well, I have 7y and negative 10y. Those are both the y's, and then I have my constants, 35 and 12. Okay, now let's combine them using our rules of addition and subtraction. So when I look at the y's, are my signs the same or are they different? 7 and negative 10. Those are different. Different signs subtract. So I'll have 3 and then keep the sign of the larger looking number. So I'll have negative 3y because that y's got to come along. We'll bring our plus sign down. And now when I look at my constants, they're both positive, 35 and 12. So they're the same. So I'll add and we'll get 47. And we'll keep the sign of the, since we have more positives, it'll stay positive. So negative 3y plus 47 is our final answer. Okay, so there's 2 solid examples for you where we follow these 4 steps. If you follow these 4 steps, do a little bit more writing than what you want to, you should be able to make easy work of this. So now what I'd like you to try is, let's do numbers 6. So let's cross out the ones we didn't do. We're not doing number 2. We're not going to do number 3. And I just want you to try on your own number 6 and 8. So cross out number 5 and number 7. And do 6 and 8 on your own. So if you would pause right here, and then we'll look at them together. Okay, so hopefully you took the chance to try these on your own. Following these 4 steps, let's see if we can do this. Step 1, write in my hidden ones. Boom, 1 goes in front of those parentheses right there. In front of my first set of parentheses, let's go down the line. Every else has a number, so there's a number in front of that parentheses, there's a number in front of that variable, and there's a number in front of that x right there, that variable. Okay, so we did that. Next we'll do our keep, change, change. Do we see any subtraction? I see some subtraction there and subtraction there. So let's do our keep, change, change. So I'm going to have 1, parentheses, 4x plus a negative 9 plus 8, parentheses, 2x plus 3, nothing to change there. And then plus change a negative 7x, change. Okay, that part's done. Next we'll distribute. So I have a 1 out front of here. 1 times 4x is 4x. Bring my plus sign down. 1 times negative 9 is negative 9. Let's bring our plus sign down. Oop, more distributing. I have 8 times 2x is 16x. Bring my plus sign down. 8 times 3 is 24. That's supposed to be a 2. And then we'll bring our plus sign down. Now, is there anything to do with this negative 7x? No, there isn't, so it just comes straight down. And we're on to step 4, combining our like terms. So let's look at identify our like terms. So I have the 4x, I have a 16x, and I have a negative 7x. So let's just do it 2 at a time. Let me identify my other ones. I have negative 9 and 24. So I'll do 4x and 16x. They're the same. So I'll add. So I get 20x. Bring my plus sign down. Let's go ahead and combine our constants, negative 9 and 24. If I use them, I like to cross them out. Sorry about that. So I use the 4x, I use the 16x. I'm going to cross those out so I can keep track of the things that I've done. So then I have negative 9 and 24. Those signs are different. Different signs we will subtract. And then so I will subtract 24 minus 9 is 15. Positive or negative 15. We'll keep the sign of the bigger number, so 24, so it's positive 15. Since I haven't used this yet, I'm going to go ahead and bring my plus sign down and bring down that negative 7x, and then do one more round of combining like terms and we'll be done. So I have 20x and negative 7x. Are those the same or different? Different, so we will subtract 20 minus 7 is 13. Positive 13x, because we're going to keep the sign of the bigger number. There's my 13x, so I use those. And then we can bring down our plus sign and that 15, and we are done with the problem. Okay, so let's look at number 8. Just some fractions, but we know how to deal with fractions. First thing we want to do, it's the same idea with, we can still use that first step. Where are my hidden ones on this one? They're in our denominator. Let's go ahead and write those in like that. So anytime we need hidden ones, we'll write them in, whether they're acting as coefficients or the numbers outside of our parentheses for distributing, or if there are hidden one denominators like we have here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do any keep, change we need to do. So this will be 1/2, stays there, parentheses, x plus a negative 6 over 1. I'll do change right here, plus a negative 1/4 times x plus 12 over 1. Now we're ready to distribute. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. Bring my plus sign down. 1/2 times negative 6 over 1. We don't need to write as much if we know what we're doing. We'll multiply the numerators together. 1 times negative 6 is negative 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. Multiplying fractions. Multiply the numerators together. 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. 2 times 1 is 2. Now we'll bring our plus sign down. Now let's distribute right here. Well, I have a negative 1/4 times x is negative 1/4 x. And then I have negative 1/4 times 12 over 1. So we'll bring our plus sign down, and we'll multiply our numerators together. Negative 1 times 12 would be a negative 12. And then 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, so all I want to do at this point, we have one more step to do. We just want to clean this up by simplifying any of our fractions. And that's easy to do if we just remember that division fraction bars are division. So I can't simplify this one. We'll leave it as 1/2 x. Bring my plus sign down. I can do negative 6 divided by 2. Negative 6 divided by 2, negative divided by positive is negative, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we have that. Then I can bring my negative 1/4 x down, like so. Bring down my plus sign. And now what I can do is my division right here. I have negative 12 divided by 4. So negative divided by a positive is negative, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. And we're done with the problem. So if you follow these 4 steps, write in your hidden ones. Do our keep, change. Distribute, and combine like terms. If you follow these 4 steps, it'll be a little bit more writing, but you will have less chances where you get stuff wrong. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.